Hi, I'm Amanda.
Hi, I'm Leah.
Today we're going to be doing a story time, like both of us.
So a double story.
Yeah, joint story.
2 stories.
Mine is about my first kiss, and I know I'm a late bloomer because it didn't happen until I was like 18. So it's my first year of university, and I go to Subway with this guy. Comes up in conversation that like I haven't had my first kiss, and he's like, oh, we should change that. I'm like, okay. So at this point, I just want to get it over with. Like, I don't care who I'm kissing. I just want to like say I've kissed someone. So I'm living on residence at the time at the university. And in my apartment, I have a roommate that I'm in the same room with, and then 3 other girls. But I don't want them to know. So the whole time we're walking back, I'm like, okay, be quiet when we walk in, because like it's gonna be a secret. And as we're walking back, he puts in his mouth like 4 pieces of gum and a whole tube of lip chap. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. His lips could be used as a slip and slide. As we're walking down the hallway to my room, I'm like, shh, shh, just be quiet, like whisper. And then I make him wait in the hallway before we enter the apartment. And I go in and I peek around and I see if anyone's there. I look in my room, no one's there. There's a girl in the kitchen. So I sneak him in and we go in my room and we're standing there and he's like, okay. And I'm like, okay. And then we kissed and it was like bad. Like, it was so slippery. I felt like I was gonna slide away. He wanted to kiss again. I was like, no thanks. Later on, a few hours later, I'm texting him. I'm with my friends and he's still at the school, like on campus in a lab somewhere, like underground in the basement. That's creepy. So he is saying to me, he's like, you should come hang out with me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, it's like 11 o'clock at night. I want to go to bed. And my friends are like, come on, Amanda. And I didn't want to walk across campus by myself this late, so I got 2 friends to go with me. And I walked to this place where he is in the science building. And it's like way down in the basement. We're the only ones, like, I swear, in the whole building. It's kind of creepy. It's super late. It's like 11:30 by this point. And so I don't want to kiss again because it wasn't good the first time. I'm like, I don't want to do this. So I'm trying to do anything to keep his mind off kissing. I'm like, there's a chalkboard in there, so let's play tic-tac-toe. Let's listen to music. How about you do your homework? And eventually he kisses me, and I kissed for a little bit. I was like, oh, this is okay. And then he gets weird, okay? This is where it gets kind of creepy. He starts getting mad because I wanted to stop kissing. He starts getting all like defensive and mean and angry. And I'm like, okay, I think it's time for me to leave. But I didn't want to leave alone, so I'm like, I need you to walk me back to residence. And he's like, no, we're not going. And then he takes my phone and puts it in his pocket. He's like, well, you can't leave now. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, are you 12? I eventually get my phone back. We walk outside. He's like, I'm sorry. He apologizes. He's like, and then he starts asking me about another girl. He's asking me for advice about this girl that he likes.
Gosh.
I was like, what? And all this happened within like 12 hours. And I was just like not having it. And I went home and I went to bed. I was like, I don't even know what happened. I woke up the next morning and I wanted to completely erase my memory.
Of your first kiss.
Yeah, it was just like bad. Okay, that's it.
Did you like him though?
Not after the whole angry thing happened. I liked him a little bit.
Well, my story is quite different. It's about my first party that I threw at my house. And a number of different things happened this night, but I've had more than one party and all of them like never result in good memories. So I don't know why I wanted to keep having them, but like for one, if you're the one throwing a party, you kind of have to like stress out about it the whole time because, you know, it's your house. You don't want anyone breaking anything. Like, I spend a lot of the night yelling at people. My friends spend a lot of the night yelling at people, so that happened. I guess this was my 18th birthday, so I was 17 still. And I invited a bunch of people from my school that I was friends with. But I had also invited a guy that I liked at the time, and he went to the different high school, so he brought some of his friends over, and like they kind of came over beforehand, and we pre-drank with them and played beer pong or whatever, and it was fun while we waited for everyone else to show up. But I guess his friends ended up inviting more people from their school, and you know, like my downstairs can probably fit about 20 people comfortably, but there was probably about like 60 to 70 people in my downstairs, and my mom was home, and that was another thing because my parents did go away sometimes, but I never felt like I wanted to have a party when my parents were gone, like just because that would double my stress even more, right? Yeah. And so, so my mom, I somehow agreed my mom to let me have these parties, and she would hang out upstairs and we'd be downstairs, but I had planned it so it was just like my big group of friends, not like 60 people. So anyways, so I knew who the people were that were coming in. They weren't, some of them were my friends, some of them weren't, but they went to a different school. So it got, like, there was a lot of people, and those people would invite more people, and like, I guess you could just imagine how that goes. But anyway, so the first thing that kind of threw me off this night, a friend had given me one of those like birthday pins that say like birthday girl on it or something. And he like pokes me and he's like, hey, you know you're just wearing that pin for attention, right? Like everyone knows it's your birthday, but you're just wearing it because you want everyone to wish you a happy birthday. Like I get what those pins mean. Like you probably went out and bought it yourself, and I was like, I'm sorry, wait, whose house are you at? Like I invited you into my home, and now you're giving me, like, I don't know what you're doing, but you're like being an asshole to me.
Oh my god, I would have punched him.
He was a dick. He was the type of person that would think that he's better than everyone. And, you know, he thinks he's better looking than everyone. He thinks that he's too good to be there, stuff like that. Like, I knew him. We weren't, like, close friends, but he just, like, went on this huge rant about it. And ever since then, I've never wanted to wear another birthday pin because I just assumed that everyone thought what he thought. And my 20th birthday, my best friend gave me a pin, a happy birthday pin, and we were at my house. And we were pre-drinking at my house, and then she's like, hey, why didn't you put the pin on? And I was like, oh, you know, I'll put it on later. And she's like, no, put it on now. So I was like, okay, I'll just put it on, then when we go to the bar, I'll just take it off. But I got drunk and forgot to take it off. And a guy came up to me at the bar, and he's like, hey, is this your birthday? And I was like, oh no, like preparing myself. This guy's gonna like tell me I'm wanting attention, and I'm wearing it for the wrong reasons. He's like, happy birthday. And I was like, what?
Yeah, that's what people are supposed to do.
So my house just like was really crowded. Like girls who I didn't know were going upstairs, and like my mom was just sitting out here in the living room, and they'd come upstairs and my mom would be like, hello, like what are you doing? Party's downstairs. And like I don't know what my mom was thinking at this point because she knew like there was way too many people here. And so, so they would like wander upstairs. There was a guy who I invited, he was a year younger, and he was like on the basketball team. He came up to me and he's like, I'm really hungry, like, can you get me some food? And I was like, there's chips, like, I don't know what you want me to do about this. So I was like, okay, go upstairs and get my mom to make you something. So he went upstairs and my mom made him a peanut butter sandwich and then had a really great conversation, and he comes back down like 45 minutes later and was like, I really like your mom, like we really bonded. And I was like, that's awesome. Meanwhile, like I'm running around. My best friend, she comes up to me and she's like, oh my god, Leah, like I just seen a guy spit on your floor. And I was like, what? And she points, she's like, it was that guy. And I knew who he was. He was from the other school and I knew his name. So she's like, I was like, okay, well I have to deal with this. You want to deal with that? And she's like, okay. And she's like the type of person who's like, she'd been drinking, so I think she had a little bit of liquid courage, and so did I. I had been drinking too. And so she just like ran up to him and she was like, you can't spit on her floor, like what are you doing? We're not outside. And she's like, you can leave and get out. And so like, yeah, she was really good for that. I'm glad I had her. Yeah. Same guy that like ratted me out about the pin or was giving me a hard time about it, came up to me later and was like, hey, can I smoke the cigar in your house? And I was like, no, like the stairs are right there, the door is right there, you can go. And he's like, okay, like I get it, it's fine, I won't. And then I come up to him 10 minutes later and him and his friend are smoking the cigar out the window. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you guys can leave. And later another person comes up to me and they're like, hey, these people are, I think they're smoking in your bathroom. So at this point, like I was drunk, something that you shouldn't do at your own parties.
No.
So I had liquid courage too. So I go in, I swing open the door, and I go, what the heck are you doing? And they're smoking weed. There's no window in this bathroom because it's downstairs. And I was like, are you kidding me? And they had a bong, and I take the bong and like fling it up my stairs, like bong water everywhere. And I was like, you guys can get out, like that's not okay. I couldn't believe that people would. Obviously I can believe it because they didn't know me that well, so they think like, oh, this is a party of the person I don't know, like I can do whatever I want in their house. But I mean, I would never do something like that. Oh yeah, some other thing happened where a girl who I knew and went to my school, and when I invited, I was like friends with her, she got really drunk and like fell into the door, like my closet door, and broke it off the hinges.
I've seen it. It's still broken.
I hope she doesn't watch this, but like she always apologizes, and I don't really care. I was upstairs dealing with the guy who wanted food, and I come back down, and like there was this really tall hockey player, and he couldn't even like fit in my basement. And he was like 6'5", and he looks at me and he's like, oh, Leah, you're not gonna like this. And I was like, what? And he's like, that girl fell into your closet door and it broke off. And I was like, no. I think my mom ended up coming down and just like kicking everyone out. But yeah, I had no recollection of any great memories of having parties at my own house.
I've never had a party, so.
Yeah, like I had 2 or 3 after that, and it just goes downhill. Like the last one I had, it just went really downhill after that. And that's a different story that I'll probably never put on the internet. I don't recommend having your own party at your own house because...
I don't recommend kissing anyone ever.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to have a song.
Yeah.
A goodbye song.
Yeah, you can sing. I can't sing shit, so...
Okay, thanks for watching. If you liked it, comment and subscribe and like and share with your friends. Tell your parents. Tell everyone. Tell your plants. That's it. Bye.
Bye.